Have you ever wondered why the more you try to control your life, the more chaotic it seems to become? You run, plan, force things, and yet everything falls apart. But what if I told you that true power doesn't lie in control, but in calm? In this video, you'll discover 11 Stoic lessons that will teach you how to stay calm and use it as your greatest advantage. But this isn't just pretty theory or empty words. These are real strategies, tested for centuries by the Stoics, that can transform the way you think and act. Are you ready to learn how to stay calm and use it to guide you to success? Let's get started. But before we begin, let me tell you the story of James Stockdale, a man who endured one of the toughest trials anyone could face, and who, thanks to his calm and Stoic philosophy, managed to persevere. James was a U.S. Navy pilot, a man trained for any situation, someone who had absolute control over his aircraft, his missions, and his decisions. Until one day, in the middle of the Vietnam War, everything changed in a matter of seconds. His plane was shot down. There was no time to think, only the impact, the free fall, the desperation in the air. He ejected with his parachute, and before he even touched the ground, he knew what was coming. Because he didn't land in friendly territory, he fell straight into enemy hands. They captured him, beat him, dragged him like he was nothing more than a piece of meat that had fallen from the sky. And when he arrived at the prisoner of war camp, his real test began. They chained him up, tortured him, and left him in isolation for days on end, with no contact with anyone. 7 years, not 7 days, not 7 months. 7 years locked in a tiny cell, not knowing if he would ever see the sunlight again. Not knowing if each day would be his last. Many men in his situation broke. They gave up. They lost hope and let fear consume them. But James didn't. Not because he was physically stronger, not because he had more endurance than the others, but because he had something that made him invincible: control over his mind. James wasn't just a soldier, he was also a student of Stoicism, and while he was trapped, he remembered the words of Epictetus: "It is not circumstances themselves that harm us, but our interpretation of them." He couldn't control his situation, but he could control how he experienced it. He couldn't stop them from beating him, but he could stop them from defeating him. He couldn't escape, but he could hold on to the one thing no one could take from him: his attitude. So he did something that changed everything. Instead of sinking into despair, he decided he would find a way to resist. He became the secret leader of the prisoners, creating a coded communication system so they wouldn't feel alone. He taught them how to resist psychologically, how to keep the enemy from breaking them from the inside. While his captors tried to crush him, he kept repeating to himself, "This does not define me. I am stronger than this." And he was. He survived. And when he was finally freed, after 7 years of horror, someone asked him, "How did you endure it?" His answer was simple: "I accepted reality, but I never lost faith in my ability to overcome it." Stockdale understood something that many never do. You don't control what happens to you, but you do control how you respond. And that was the key to his survival. So tell me, what's stealing your calm today? A problem at work? An argument? A bad day? Do you feel like everything is out of control? If James could find strength in the middle of the worst nightmare imaginable, so can you. No matter how difficult the situation seems, you always have control over one thing: your response. And in this video, I'm going to show you how. Let's get to it. Before we continue, if you're finding value in this content, consider subscribing and becoming an exclusive member for access to unique perks. And let us know in the comments, what does staying calm in a chaotic world mean to you? Or simply type, "I am Stoic." We want to hear your thoughts and grow together with you. 1. Calm is your greatest weapon. Imagine you're a Formula One driver. Your hands grip the wheel firmly, the engines roar, and the track feels like a scorching desert of asphalt. You're on the final stretch, just seconds away from first place. Suddenly, as you take a sharp turn, the car loses traction. The wheel feels weightless, control slips away, and the world moves too fast. This is the defining moment. You have two options. The first, panic, freeze, react with fear, and jerk the wheel impulsively without thinking. The result? You end up in the gravel, off the track, and out of the race. The second option, stay calm. Feel the car sliding, but don't let desperation take over. Ease off the accelerator for a moment, correct with precision, and regain control at just the right time. The best drivers in the world aren't the fastest. They're the ones who keep a cool head when everything spins out of control. They don't fight the curve, they understand it and use it to their advantage. Life works the same way. It's not about avoiding problems, it's about learning to respond with clarity when they show up. If you look at the most successful people, you'll notice something they all have in common. It's not that they never face crises or that their lives are perfect. It's that when the world turns against them, they stay on track. They don't lose control. They don't let fear dictate their decisions. Ryan Holiday, author of The Obstacle is the Way, calls this a strategic advantage. He says real strength isn't in speed or aggression, but in the ability to stay composed when everything seems to be falling apart. And this isn't just empty motivation. It's because a calm mind makes better decisions. Marcus Aurelius understood this centuries ago. If you are disturbed by something external, it is not the thing itself that troubles you, but your judgment about it. And today, neuroscience backs this up. When we react impulsively, it's the amygdala taking control, the part of the brain responsible for emotional responses like fear, anger, and frustration. But when we manage to stay calm, we activate the prefrontal cortex, the part that allows us to reason, evaluate, and make intelligent decisions. A study from the Institute of Cognitive Neuroscience in London found that people who train their ability to stay calm under pressure not only experience less stress, but also achieve better long-term results. They don't make decisions based on momentary emotions, they act based on strategy. Now, I know what you're thinking. This all sounds great, but how do you actually apply it in real life? Because sure, it's easy to talk about staying calm when you're watching a video or reading a book. The real challenge comes when reality hits, when the curve appears out of nowhere, and you feel like you're about to lose control. That's why here are 2 strategies to train your mind starting today. The first is the observer technique. Imagine you're not the one experiencing the situation, but rather a spectator watching a movie. What advice would you give the main character? This exercise helps you distance yourself emotionally and think more objectively. And here's the strategy that will truly set you up for success. Don't wait for a crisis to practice this. Train your calmness every single day. How? For example, imagine you come home from the grocery store, start unpacking, and suddenly, the carton of eggs decides to do parkour off the counter and onto the floor. A disaster. Naturally, your first instinct might be to yell, curse gravity, and wonder why life hates you. But this is your test. If something as small as this can steal your calm, what do you think will happen when you face a real problem? If you can't control your mind in the small moments, you won't be able to in the big ones either. Calm doesn't magically appear when you need it most. It's a muscle that you train every day. So tell me, do you really want to keep reacting like a rookie driver who loses their head at the first sharp turn? If staying calm makes you stronger, why are you still letting the world push you off track? 2. Can you really control everything? Have you ever had one of those days where nothing goes as planned? You wake up early. Today is going to be a great day. You have everything scheduled down to the last detail. You're going to finish that important project, work out, prepare a special dinner. Nothing can go wrong. But then everything starts to fall apart. Your boss asks for something urgent that wasn't in your plans. A friend cancels dinner at the last minute. You call someone expecting support, and instead they hit you with a comment that ruins your mood. You feel frustration creeping in. Nothing is going as expected, and you can't stand it. And this is where the real problem begins. Because we don't just want to control our own lives, we want to control others too. We want people to react the way we imagine, for our plans to unfold exactly as we designed them, for everything to go perfectly. So tell me, how many times has this happened to you? How many times have you tried to change someone, to make them see reason, to convince them to do things the way you believe they should be done. Maybe you give advice to a friend who keeps making the same mistakes. Or you try to get your partner to see things from your perspective, but they don't change. Or you wish your parents would stop worrying so much about you, that they'd understand your way of thinking. And when they don't, you get angry, frustrated, and feel like everything is going wrong. The problem isn't the situation. It's your attachment to the idea that you can control it. Naval Ravikant, investor and entrepreneur, explained this in one of his talks about happiness and personal success. Suffering comes from the desire to control the uncontrollable. He was talking about how so many people spend their lives trying to force outcomes, manipulate circumstances, or change others, when in reality the key is to let go and focus only on what is within our control. And he was right. Because the more you try to force things, the more you resist reality, and the more anxiety, frustration, and stress you accumulate. But this isn't just an idea from modern speakers. Epictetus said it more than 2,000 years ago. Some things are up to us, and some are not. Only those who cling to what they cannot control will suffer. Science backs this up as well. A study from Stanford University analyzed the impact of uncertainty on emotional well-being. How did they do it? They divided a group of people into two situations. The first group was given a task where they had full control over the outcome. The second group was given a task where the results depended on external factors they couldn't influence. Then they measured their stress levels. And do you know what they found? The people who accepted uncertainty showed lower anxiety, greater adaptability, and a more stable emotional state. Meanwhile, those who clung to control felt constantly frustrated and exhausted. Now tell me, which side do you think you'd be on? The side of those who accept what they can't change and focus on what they can, or the side of those who fight against the wind, expecting it to blow in their direction? If you want to learn how to live without every obstacle knocking you off balance and continue on your path to success, I have two challenges for you. First, the "so what" challenge. The next time something doesn't go as planned, ask yourself, so what? Will this matter in 5 years? Because many times stress comes from things you won't even remember in a few months. Now let me tell you about the second challenge. And honestly, I'm almost afraid to say it because I know your first reaction will be a firm no way. But trust me, this could change your life. We'll call it controlled chaos. One day a week, stop planning everything down to the last detail. Allow yourself to go with the flow, without rigid expectations. You'll be surprised at how your mind adapts and how, by letting go of control, you actually gain it. Life isn't a straight highway where everything follows the plan you mapped out. It's more like sailing in open waters. You can't avoid the waves, the storms, or the shifts in direction, but you can learn to adjust your sails, to let go of what isn't up to you and focus on the only thing you truly can control: your decisions, your attitude, and your response to every situation. And that's where real success lies. Not in trying to control everything, but in knowing how to adapt, flow, and take charge of what's truly in your hands. 3. Be grateful before you complain. My friend, your brain is like a garden. What you plant in it is what ends up growing. If every day you water it with stress, complaints, and negativity, you'll get a dry, thorn-filled wasteland. And no, this isn't just a nice metaphor. A group of scientists at the University of Berkeley wanted to prove it. So they conducted an experiment. They divided people into two groups and gave them a simple task. The first group was asked to write down 3 things they were grateful for every night, no matter how small. The second group could write about anything with no specific rules. Weeks passed. It was time to see what had changed, and the results were shocking. The first group, those who wrote down their gratitude daily, showed increased activity in the prefrontal cortex, the part of the brain responsible for calmness, decision-making, and emotional well-being. It was as if their brains had received special training to focus on the good and handle stress more effectively. And the second group? Nothing. Their brains remained the same. The garden was still dry. Do you see it now? Gratitude might seem trivial, but it's not. And trust me, I know from personal experience. I used to think it was pointless too. But one day, I gave it a shot. I started writing down 3 things I was grateful for every morning, and my mindset completely shifted. Over time, I understood something that Seneca had already said centuries ago. It is not happiness that makes us grateful, but gratitude that makes us happy. Think about this. It's Monday. You open your eyes, and the first thought in your head is that you need a vacation, that everything would be easier if you had a different job, a different house, a different life. And while you wash your face, your mind keeps playing the same tune. If I had more money, if I had more time, if things were easier, then I'd finally be at peace. But tell me, when has it ever been enough? Because the truth is, no matter how much you achieve, there will always be something else to want, something else to chase, something you think is missing. And in the middle of all that, the only thing you're really losing is your peace of mind. So if a simple habit like recognizing the good things in your life can literally strengthen your mind and help you stay calm in difficult moments, why not do it? First, say thank you out loud at the start of your day, but do it with intention. Imagine that right after opening your eyes, you sit up in bed, stretch your arms, and say with all the energy in the world, thank you. It might feel silly at first, but try it. Because the moment you start your day with gratitude, your brain shifts its focus. Instead of thinking about what's missing, it starts noticing what's already there. Second, write down 3 good things before going to bed. And don't just repeat the same ones every night. Look for details, maybe a coffee that turned out amazing, or an unexpected laugh with your partner. Because if you don't train your mind to see the good, it will only see the bad. And third, focus on what you have, not what you lack. Life isn't about crossing off an endless checklist of desires. If you can't appreciate what you have now, you won't appreciate it even when you have twice as much. The peace you're looking for, the clarity you need, and the success you want to achieve aren't in what you haven't yet obtained, but in the way you choose to see your life. Because here's a truth you should tattoo into your mind. Complaining changes nothing. Gratitude changes everything. 4. Think well and attract the best. Let me tell you a story about a friend. A few months ago, he received life-changing news. A serious health issue, the kind that turns your world upside down. Suddenly, everything became uncertain. Hospitals, medical tests, fear, and worst of all, his own mind working against him. Every morning he woke up with the same thoughts. What if things get worse? What if I never get better? Why is this happening to me? And of course, with thoughts like these, the days felt endless. He felt trapped in a tunnel with no way out. Until one day, during one of those long waits at the hospital, he heard something that clicked. It was a talk by Tony Robbins, the motivational coach, and he said something simple but powerful. The quality of your thoughts defines the quality of your life. My friend kept thinking about it. Where had he heard something similar before? He started researching and realized that Marcus Aurelius had said almost the same thing nearly 2,000 years ago. The happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. And that's when it hit him. He couldn't control his illness, but he could control how he faced it. So he decided to make a small change. Every morning before getting out of bed, he forced himself to think of something positive, something to look forward to, no matter how small. Today, I'll find something that makes me laugh. Today, I'll enjoy every moment with my family. Today, I'll be grateful for what I do have. The interesting thing? His situation remained the same, but the way he dealt with it completely changed. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most powerful emperors in history, understood that his greatest battle was against his own thoughts. He didn't focus on problems. He focused on solutions. He didn't obsess over what could go wrong. He focused on how to face whatever came his way. That was his key to staying strong in the midst of chaos. And it can be yours too. So now tell me, How are you using your mind? Are you programming it to attract the best? Or are you filling it with worries that are only holding you back? First, reframe your negative thoughts. Every time you catch yourself saying, "This is a disaster," or "I can't handle this," pause and change it. Say, "This is a challenge, but I can learn something from it." Or, "It may not be easy, but I'll find a way." It's not about lying to yourself. It's about training yourself to see solutions instead of problems. Second, distance yourself from people who only see the negative. Negativity is contagious. If you spend your days surrounded by complaints, drama, and people who always find a reason to give up, you'll start thinking the same way. Instead, seek out people who push you forward, who talk about possibilities instead of limitations. And third, visualize positive outcomes before starting your day. This isn't about daydreaming about impossible things. It's about imagining yourself handling situations well. Picture how you want to feel, how you can respond calmly to whatever comes your way. Because when your mind has already rehearsed success, achieving it becomes much easier. In the end, it all comes down to this: your mind is the filter through which you see reality. If you train yourself to think well, you'll attract opportunities, make better decisions, and become the best version of yourself. So, my friend, tell us in the comments, what is it that you want to attract into your life? Write it down with conviction, because everything starts with a thought. 5. Your attention defines your reality. Tell me something. When you walk down the street, what do you focus on? Do you notice the rushing people, the traffic, the noise, the problems? Or do you see the small good things like the sun lighting up the buildings, the sound of the wind through the trees, a random smile? One thing is clear: reality is the same for everyone, but the way you perceive it depends on where you place your attention. It's like that famous bus meme: two people on the same journey, one looking at a breathtaking landscape and the other feeling miserable staring at a rock up close. The difference isn't the road, it's which side they chose to sit on. And life works the same way. If you only focus on the gray, on what's wrong, on what's missing, your world will always feel like a wall of stone. But if you turn your head and look in the right direction, you might realize the view was always beautiful. Will Smith once said in an interview, "If you want success, happiness, if you want to achieve any goal, you have to learn to ignore distractions and focus only on what truly matters." And that has been the key to his success. It's not about luck, it's about knowing where to direct your energy. Your attention is like an Instagram filter. Depending on the filter you use, the image changes completely. If your filter is full of complaints, worries, and problems, everything around you will seem dark and negative. But if you learn to switch filters, if you choose to see what is in your control, what you can take advantage of, your entire world transforms. Now tell me, where have you been placing your attention lately? Try this. Think of something that made you feel upset or anxious in the past few days. Was it a comment someone made? A problem at work? Something you saw on social media? How did it make you feel? Now imagine that instead of focusing on that, you had directed your attention to something positive, something that was in your control. Maybe a small achievement from your day, a moment of peace, a nice conversation you had. Do you think your mental state would have been the same? If you want to start regaining your sense of calm and focusing on what truly leads to success, first, do a mental diet. Just like you watch what you eat, you should watch what you feed your mind. Reduce the amount of negative news you consume daily. Filter the content you follow on social media. Ask yourself if what you're watching adds value or just drains your energy. Your mind is like a garden. What you water is what grows. Second, do an attention reset. When you find yourself stuck in negative thoughts, change your focus. Literally. Go for a walk, take a deep breath, look around, and find something different. If your mind is filling up with worries, change the question. Instead of thinking, "Why is this happening to me?" ask yourself, "What can I learn from this?" Third, surround yourself with people who reinforce what you want to attract. If you only spend time with people who complain, who see problems in everything, who never have a solution for anything. You'll start thinking the same way. Seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you to improve, who push you to keep your focus on what truly matters. As Epictetus said, "Where your attention goes, there is your soul." Because in the end, what you focus on is what you experience. If you train your attention to focus on what strengthens you, you will become more resilient, make better decisions, and stay calm in any situation. 6. If you don't rest, your mind shuts down. How many times have you forced yourself to keep going when you were already exhausted? You're sitting in front of your computer, trying to focus, but your mind feels like a TV with bad reception. You read the same sentence over and over without understanding a thing. You have a coffee, then another, and still you can't think clearly. And the worst part? Instead of accepting that you need a break, you push yourself even harder. Do you really think that's going to make you perform better? Of course not. You just end up making more mistakes and feeling even worse. Here's a truth that no one tells you. Rest is not a luxury, it's a necessity. Look at your phone. What happens if you use it nonstop all day and never charge it? Exactly, it shuts down. And no matter how much you shake it, hit it, or yell, "Work," it won't turn back on until you give it what it needs: rest. So why do you keep treating your brain like it's any different? The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Seneca made it clear when he said, "Even the sharpest sword needs rest to keep its edge." What good is a perfect weapon if you wear it down until it no longer cuts? What good is a brilliant mind if you exhaust it to the point where it can no longer think clearly? Seneca allowed time for reflection, for calm, for recovery. And he didn't see it as wasted time, but as a strategy to come back stronger. Today, neuroscience confirms it. Rest improves memory, learning, and self-control. And to keep this from sounding like a boring lecture, let me put it simply. Your brain is like a whiteboard. Imagine that every day you write down everything you learn, do, and decide. But if you never erase it, there's less space, more clutter, and more confusion. Sleep is like wiping that board clean, making room for new ideas, new lessons, and clearer decisions. Now, do you see why it's so important? I know what you're thinking. Okay, but my life is too chaotic to get good rest. Don't worry. Here are 3 strategies you can start using today to bring more calm into your life. First, reduce screen time before bed. Yes, I know it sounds cliché, but it makes sense. The blue light from your phone tricks your brain into thinking it's still daytime. So if you go to bed watching videos, reading the news, or scrolling through social media, don't expect your mind to switch off right away. Second, create a nighttime routine. It doesn't have to be complicated. You can read a few pages of a book, write a little, or simply sit in silence and let your body relax. The key is to send a signal to your brain that it's time to disconnect. Third, listen to your body. If you feel like you need to stop, do it. Rest isn't weakness, it's strategy. An athlete doesn't train non-stop because they know their performance depends on recovery. You are the athlete of your own life. Believe me, resting isn't a waste of time. It's recharging your energy so you can be stronger the next day. Because if you truly want to achieve success, you don't need more hours of mindless work. You need more clarity, more focus, and more calm. 7. Your mornings shape your destiny. Imagine this. Marcus Aurelius and Seneca wake up in the 21st century. Marcus Aurelius opens his eyes and the first thing he does is grab his phone. He checks his notifications, sees unread emails from the Senate, someone on Twitter is criticizing his latest decree. And to top it off, the news is reporting trouble at the empire's borders. He sighs, gets up reluctantly, and while pouring his coffee, he's already thinking about how exhausting the day will be. Seneca, on the other hand, wakes up calmly. Before moving, he takes a deep breath and asks himself, "What kind of day do I want to have?" He gets up without rushing, stretches, drinks water, and takes out his journal to write down some reflections. Then, without checking his phone, he goes for a walk, feeling the fresh air on his face. One starts the day dragged down by circumstances. the other takes control. And you? Who do you resemble more in the mornings? Many people start their day on autopilot. They wake up, check their phone, fill their heads with information and worries before even getting out of bed. They don't prepare their minds. They don't direct their focus. They just throw themselves into the day without control. But imagine what would happen if, instead of reacting to everything that comes your way, you chose how to start your day. Science now confirms that this isn't just philosophy. Dr. Rangan Chatterjee, an expert in health and wellness, explains that having a clear morning routine is key to managing stress and staying calm. His studies show that when people begin the day with intention, whether by reading, meditating, or simply avoiding distractions, their anxiety levels decrease and their ability to focus increases. So now tell me, how are you starting your days? To make sure this doesn't just stay in theory, let's do something different. Imagine that today is your turning point. I'm going to walk you through an ideal morning so you can experience what it feels like to start the day in control. When you open your eyes, remember, no touching your phone for the first 30 minutes. Yes, I know, it sounds difficult, but think about it. Do you really need to flood your mind with information before you're even fully awake? Give your brain a break before bombarding it with messages, news, and social media. So what are you going to do instead? Something that makes you feel in control. It can be small, but it should give you the feeling that the day has already started with a win. Making your bed, stretching, preparing a quiet breakfast, meditating for a minute. It doesn't matter what, as long as you do it with intention. Finally, visualize the kind of day you want to have. Don't let the day take control of you. Take control of it. Take a moment to imagine how you want to respond to challenges, how you want to feel, what you want to achieve. And if you're not sure how to train your mind to visualize with clarity, stay tuned, because soon you'll discover why this skill can change everything. So, my friend, tell me, how are you going to start your mornings from now on? Share it in the comments and make it real. This community is here to support you on your journey. 8. What you visualize, you build. My friend, has this ever happened to you? You decide you want to buy a car. You start looking at models, thinking about the color, the details, how it would look with you behind the wheel. And suddenly, you start seeing it everywhere. On the street, in ads, in the supermarket parking lot. It feels like the universe is sending you signs, right? But it's not magic. It's your brain. When you focus your attention on something, your mind starts detecting it more easily. Not because it appears out of nowhere, but because you've activated the right filter. And this doesn't just happen with cars. It happens with everything in life. Epictetus summed it up in one sentence. What you feed your mind becomes your reality. If you spend your days thinking about problems, about what you lack, about how hard everything is, that's exactly what you'll see everywhere. But if you start focusing on progress and opportunities, your mind will start working to find them. Because here's the secret, your brain doesn't distinguish between what you vividly imagine and what you actually experience. Roxy Nafusi, an expert in visualization, explains that picturing your day with clarity isn't just a mental exercise. It's a real way to train your brain for success. Want to try it? Close your eyes and imagine your ideal home. Don't just think about it, experience it mentally. What color are the walls? How does the light stream through the windows? How does it smell? What music is playing in the background? What does it feel like to walk through it? Now imagine everything you need to do to get there. Not as a distant fantasy, but as a real path. Visualize each step, the effort, the decisions, the small daily wins that bring you closer to that goal. Does it feel more real? Good. Because the clearer you see it in your mind, the easier it will be to find the paths that lead you there. So, how can you use visualization to stay calm and achieve success? First, create a mental script for your goals. It's not enough to say, I want to improve, or I want success. Imagine the details. If your goal is to be more confident, visualize a specific situation where you act with confidence. If you want a successful business, picture what a day inside it would look like. From your first morning coffee to your last meeting of the day, your brain needs clear images to know where to go. Second, surround yourself with images and stimuli that reinforce your vision. Have you noticed that athletes fill their walls with motivational quotes and pictures of their idols? That's no coincidence. Your environment influences what you think, so use this to your advantage. Place reminders of your goals where you can see them. Change your phone's wallpaper to something inspiring. Read things that reinforce the right mindset. Calmness comes when you know where you're going. And success isn't a matter of luck. It's about visualizing what you want and taking each step with intention. 9. Breathe and take back control. The game is on. The air is heavy around the table. The players study their cards, but true experts don't look at the hand. They watch their opponents. In poker, the winner isn't always the one with the best cards, but the one who knows how to play them. Beginners give themselves away with every breath, every nervous movement, every drop of sweat on their forehead. But professionals, they don't blink. They don't show impatience. They don't let anyone read their mind. Because they know that in poker, just like in life, the one who loses control loses the game. Now swap the poker chips for words. The table for a real-life argument. Someone challenges you, provokes you, tries to drag you into their emotional game. If you take the bait, if you react without thinking, if you explode on impulse, you've already lost. But if you stay calm, if you breathe before acting, if you choose your reaction instead of giving it away, then you hold the power. Picture this. You're in an argument. Your heart races, your blood boils, words pile up in your throat, ready to fire. You feel attacked, misunderstood, and every part of you screams to react. Defend yourself. Respond. Don't stay silent, but wait, pause. Because this is where everything is decided. You can explode and say the first thing that comes to mind, or you can do something the Stoics mastered. Stay calm. And no, this isn't just about avoiding embarrassment in an argument. It's the difference between being trapped in impulsive reactions or taking control of your life and moving closer to success. Marcus Aurelius practiced this daily. If he hadn't, his empire would have crumbled in no time. That's why he said, calm yet determined, cheerful yet steady. That is the man who follows reason in all things. That's the key. Your mind can be your greatest ally or your worst enemy. It all depends on whether you control it or let it control you. And in moments of stress and tension, what's the first thing you should do? Take charge of your breathing. It may seem too simple, but listen. Whoever doesn't control their breathing doesn't control their mind, and whoever doesn't control their mind can't control their life. So next time you feel like you're about to lose control, use these tips to stay calm. First, the 4-7-8 technique. It's simple. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale for 8. Why does it work? Because it forces your body to relax. It's like hitting the reset button on your nervous system. Also, have a little compassion. If someone snaps at you with anger or frustration, chances are it's not because of what you just said. It's something much deeper that you can't even see. Maybe they're having a bad day, a bad life, or they simply don't know how to handle their own thoughts. And here's where you have the advantage. You get to decide whether to step into their chaos or not. Because in the end, the one who shouts loses, and the one who stays calm wins. My friend, remember this. When life pressures you, don't react. Breathe first, decide later. Because real success doesn't belong to those who let their first impulse take over. It belongs to those who know how to wait, think, and act with precision. 10. Seek silence, find answers. Think about this. You open your eyes, and before even getting out of bed, your phone is already in your hand. Notifications, emails, social media. You step outside, and there's traffic, honking, half-heard conversations, music blasting from every direction. You get home, turn on the TV, check more messages, filling every moment with noise. And without realizing it, your life becomes a whirlwind where silence never has a place. Just thinking about it feels overwhelming, right? And do you know why you do all that? Because you don't know how to be in silence. It terrifies you. It makes you so uncomfortable that you fill every second with noise. But here's a truth you might not want to hear. Silence is not the enemy. It's a portal, a gateway to another world, one where answers don't come from outside but from within. If you never dare to step through it, you can't even imagine what you're missing. It's like in the movie Eat, Pray, Love. The protagonist, trapped in a life that no longer fulfills her, leaves everything behind and sets out on a journey to find herself. But she doesn't do it in the middle of chaos. She does it in silence. At a retreat in India, she faces her greatest challenge, being alone with her own thoughts. And it's not easy. Her mind screams, her anxiety spikes, she wants to run. But then something changes. When the external noise fades, she starts to hear what she truly needs. There, in the silence, she finds the answers she was searching for, not because someone gives them to her, but because she can finally hear her own voice. The Stoics understood this centuries ago. Seneca said that we often suffer more from the noise in our minds than from the noise around us. We worry about things that haven't happened yet, replay past mistakes, fill our heads with unnecessary thoughts that keep us trapped in a constant mental storm. But the one who learns to find calm in silence learns to find calm in any situation. And science backs this up. A study from Duke University made it clear: when you spend time in silence, something incredible happens in your brain. It doesn't shut down, it doesn't go into standby mode. It does the exact opposite. It's like searching for something in a messy room. You look left, right, dig through things, open drawers, but the more you search, the harder it is to find. Everything is chaos. But then you stop, take a breath, organize a little, and suddenly there it is, right in front of you the whole time. This activates what's known as the default mode network, a neural system that helps you connect ideas, solve dilemmas, and find clarity. It's as if your mind, free from distractions, starts cleaning up, organizing thoughts, and piecing together answers that once seemed out of reach. If your mind feels like a constant storm and you can't find the answers, what can you do? First, disconnect for 30 minutes a day. No screens, no conversations, just silence. It could be in the morning, before bed, or at any moment you allow yourself. Second, take silent walks. No music, no podcasts, just you and your thoughts. At first it might feel uncomfortable, but over time you'll realize it's a space where ideas and solutions appear that you couldn't see before. Third, write down what comes up during those moments of silence. Thoughts, reflections, doubts. Writing them down will help you clarify them and recognize patterns in your thinking. Because here's the thing, if you can't stand being alone with your thoughts, who else would want to? Silence is not the enemy. It's the tool you need to calm your mind and guide you toward success. My friend, if you truly want to stay calm and reach success, there's one more thing you can't overlook, a detail many ignore, but one that makes the difference between an overwhelmed mind and a mind in control. Ready to find out what it is? 11. Use your hands, calm your mind. Let me tell you the story of a man who couldn't sit still, not because he was impatient, but because his mind was full of questions. It wasn't enough for him to observe the world. He needed to understand it, touch it, take it apart, and rebuild it with his own hands. He drew endlessly, designed machines that didn't yet exist, studied anatomy, and wrote without stopping. But he didn't do it just out of curiosity. He knew that his mind worked best when his hands were busy. When he felt stuck, he sketched. When his thoughts became chaotic, he grabbed paper and organized them into drawings. When words weren't enough, he let action speak for itself. And that was his secret. He didn't wait for clarity. He created it with his own hands. That man was Leonardo da Vinci. A genius, yes, but also a man who discovered something that many still don't understand. When the mind is overwhelmed, the solution isn't to think more, but to do. And you, my friend, what do you do when stress takes over? When ideas pile up without making sense? When anxiety paralyzes you? Marcus Aurelius put it clearly. Well-directed action brings peace to the mind. Calm doesn't come by sitting still, waiting for the storm to pass. It comes when you take action. Picture this. You're at work, and everything is spiraling out of control. Emails piling up, your phone ringing non-stop, someone asking you for something urgent. You feel pressure in your chest, your mind racing, like you have to respond to everything all at once. You want to stay calm, but you just can't. And the worst part? In that moment, all you wish is to be that person who knows how to handle pressure, the one who stays centered, who makes good decisions without getting swept away by chaos. Because in the end, those are the people who move forward, the ones who succeed. But how do you do it when everything feels like it's on fire? To calm the mind, use your hands. I know what you're thinking. My hands? What kind of nonsense is that? Yes, I get it. It sounds too simple, but it works. First, dedicate at least 10 minutes a day to a hands-on activity. Drawing, writing by hand, cooking, fixing something, gardening, whatever it is. And no, don't worry. I'm not telling you to suddenly start sketching in your notebook in the middle of a chaotic office, but make it a habit. A moment in your day where you disconnect from the noise and give your mind a chance to reset. Second, remove distractions. Forget multitasking. Turn off notifications. And absolutely do not play music with lyrics in the background. Just you, your hands, and the activity. When your mind focuses on a single physical task, stress melts away without you even noticing. Third, pay attention to how you feel afterward. Maybe you won't have solved all your problems, but I promise you'll have a clarity you didn't have before. As if the storm had settled, even if just a little. When words aren't enough, let your hands do the talking. Sometimes the silence of a simple, hands-on task speaks louder than 1,000 chaotic thoughts. So tell me, my friend, what's the first thing you're going to do with your hands to calm your mind? Be bold and share it in the comments. Calm isn't just the absence of chaos. It's the key to making better decisions, acting with clarity, and moving towards success without letting stress control you. Every day you have the chance to train your mind, to choose how you respond to what's around you, and to become someone who doesn't get swept away by the noise but learns to direct it. Don't wait for life to become easier or less chaotic. Real transformation happens when you learn to find calm within the challenge, when you decide to focus on what you can control and stop wasting energy on what you can't. If you've made it this far, let us know in the comments. I choose calm to guide my success. Now, my friend, stay with me a little longer, because the next step goes even deeper. Now that you understand how calm can shape your success, it's time to learn how to train your mind to stay calm in any situation. Take a breath, don't move away. What comes next will teach you how to hold your ground no matter what life throws at you. 1 second, everything feels calm, and the next chaos takes over. Traffic, bad news, that person who knows how to push your buttons, the constant pressure. And there you are, stuck in a whirlwind of racing thoughts. Why is it so hard to stay calm? Why does it feel like your own mind is working against you? Here's the hard truth. If you don't train your mind, it will control you. But what if I told you there's a way to take back control? That there's a path, followed by some of the wisest people in history, to find peace, even in the heart of the storm. Stoicism teaches us that peace doesn't depend on what's happening outside, but on how we choose to respond. Today, you'll learn how to train your mind to stay calm, even in the most chaotic moments. No matter what's happening around you, in the end, you only have two choices: control your mind, or be a slave to it. Before we begin, let me tell you the story of Tomas. Tomas was 33, had a more or less stable life, and one dangerous habit. He bottled everything up: work stress, hurtful comments, small and big disappointments. He kept quiet, kept going, as if nothing was wrong. But inside, his head was a hornet's nest. Every night he came home and, without knowing why, would blow up over nonsense. The neighbors being loud, the mail didn't arrive, the toaster's not working, nothing serious. But all it took was a spark to make him explode. One summer night, everything boiled over. His partner said a simple sentence: "You're always angry." And then, boom. Yelling, slamming doors, accusations flying. But that's not the surprising part. What's surprising is what happened next. Tomas stormed out, slammed the door behind him, and wandered the streets for hours. Around dawn, he sat down on a bench in a park and pulled out his phone without thinking, opened YouTube, and the first thing that popped up was a video with this phrase: "You can't control what happens, but you can control how you respond." It was a video about Stoicism. He had never heard of it before. Sounded strange, but since he had nothing to lose, he let it play. And that's where everything started. He didn't sleep that night. He stayed up watching videos, reading about Marcus Aurelius, Epictetus, Seneca. And for the first time in his life, something clicked. These weren't just pretty quotes. They were painful truths that set him free. It's not things that upset us, but our opinion about them. The more power something has over you, the weaker you are in front of it. Choose not to be hurt, and you won't be. Tomas realized something no one had ever taught him. Calm isn't a gift. It's a skill, one you train. From then on, he started making small changes. Before responding, he'd breathe. Before complaining, he'd observe. When he felt that tight knot in his chest, he'd go for a walk. Sometimes he messed up, of course. But something had changed. He was no longer a slave to his impulses. Anger still came knocking, but now he knew he didn't have to answer. And little by little, without anyone really noticing, Tomas became a different person. Someone who didn't react to everything. Someone who didn't need to yell to be right. Someone who understood that true control isn't something you show. It's something you feel on the inside. My friend, maybe you're not Tomas, but I'm sure you've had moments where your mind drags you places you don't want to go. And maybe, like him, you're about to discover that calm doesn't come when everything outside is fine, but when everything inside is steady. Today I'm going to teach you how to train that, so you don't depend on traffic, your boss, the weather, or other people's moods to be at peace. Today you're going to discover how to train your mind to stay calm even in chaos. And believe me, if Tomas could do it, so can you. Let's get started. Before we continue, if this content is bringing you value, consider subscribing and becoming an exclusive member to get access to unique perks. And tell us in the comments, what will you do today to take control of your mind? Or simply write, "I'm a Stoic. We want to grow together with you." 1. Who's in charge here, you or your mind? Let me guess. You've had those days when it feels like your own mind is working against you. You wake up ready to take on the world, but one small setback and everything falls apart. You make a mistake in an email, and your mind starts whispering that you're a failure. Someone makes a rude comment and you spend half an hour replaying what you should have said. Or worse, someone cuts you off in traffic, and suddenly you're angrier than when your favorite team loses the Champions League final. That's what the mind does when you let it run wild, like an untamed horse charging in every direction with no aim or reason. And if you don't train it, it'll drag you through the mud without mercy. It doesn't matter if your goal is to stay calm, make better decisions, or just live with less stress. Because if you don't take control of your mind, it will take control of you. Picture this. You're in a meeting, relaxed, having a calm conversation when suddenly someone drops a sharp comment, a venomous jab disguised as a joke. It hits like a punch to the ego. Your blood starts to boil, your heart races, and your head floods with clever comebacks to put that person in their place. But hold on, is that really necessary? Or is it just your mind pushing you to react without thinking? This is where you need to remember Epictetus. He said it clearly centuries ago. It's not things themselves that disturb us, but our interpretation of them. Think about it. Was that comment really so bad? Or is it the meaning you chose to give it? Let's say someone tells you, "You could have done that better." You can take it two ways. If your mind goes into panic mode, you translate it as, "I'm incompetent, they must be disappointed in me." And suddenly, you're mentally digging through every mistake you've made in the last few months, sinking deeper into self-doubt. But what if you gave it a different meaning? What if it was just a neutral observation, an opportunity to improve, not an attack? The words are the same. The difference is in how you choose to interpret them. The real problem is most of the time we don't even notice our mind is messing with us. The amygdala, that primitive part of the brain wired to detect threats, reacts in milliseconds. The problem? It doesn't know the difference between a lion about to pounce and a passive-aggressive comment. To your brain, danger is danger, and that's why you need to train it. You can't let your mind run the show. Calm doesn't show up by magic. It's trained. It's strengthened. It becomes a habit. So, how do you take control? First, use the 3-second pause. Whenever something sets you off, take a deep breath and count. 1, 2, 3. That tiny pause is enough to let your rational brain step in before your instincts go off the rails. Second, rewrite the story you're telling yourself. Instead of thinking, "They disrespected me, I have to respond," say, "I'm not wasting my energy on this." It sounds simple, but it completely changes how the situation affects you. And third, activate observer mode. Imagine you're watching the scene from the outside, like it's a movie. How would the wisest, calmest character in history react? They wouldn't get rattled over something so small. My friend, if you don't take control of your mind, someone else will. And most of the time, that someone is the automatic reaction that ends up hurting you the most. So the next time anger, frustration, or fear come knocking, remember the reins are in your hands. It's up to you whether you use them or let your mind run wild. 2. Don't let anger make you lose. Picture yourself driving peacefully down the highway. Everything seems under control until suddenly the steering wheel starts turning on its own. You try to straighten it, but it won't respond. It jerks side to side like it has a mind of its own, speeding up and ignoring the brakes. Panic takes over because you're no longer the one driving. The car is taking you wherever it wants. That's what anger is like. 1 second you think you're in control, and the next you realize something else is calling the shots. It drags you along, makes you say things you didn't mean, react in ways you'll regret, and when you finally manage to stop, all that's left is damage. Because anger doesn't just throw your mind out of balance. It also pulls you away from what you truly want. Calm, clarity, the ability to handle anything without letting it knock you off center. If you need proof of how anger can wreck everything in a second, just look at Will Smith at the Oscars. Everything was going great. It was his night. He was about to win the most important award of his career. Then Chris Rock made a joke about his wife. And what did Will do? Nothing. Because anger took over. He got up, walked straight to the stage, and without a second thought slapped him live in front of millions. One impulse out of control, 1 second where his mind grabbed the wheel without asking, and his public image went straight off a cliff. Years of respect and admiration gone because he didn't stop to think. Was it really worth it? Seneca made it clear centuries ago. The one who gets angry suffers more than the one who caused the offense. Because in the end, the person who throws the first jab forgets it in minutes. But you keep carrying the anger, replaying it over and over in your head. Seneca had a rule to avoid becoming a slave to anger. When someone tried to provoke him, he gave himself time before reacting. He knew the mind doesn't give the best advice when it's angry. So, how do you take back the wheel when anger tries to rip it from your hands? One of the most powerful things you can do is let it pass without grabbing onto it. Neuroscientist Jill Bolte Taylor discovered that anger, biologically, only lasts about 90 seconds. You're telling me you can't handle 90 seconds? Come on, some ads last longer. But you know what the problem is? In those 90 seconds, you feed the anger. You replay what happened, think about what you should have said, how unfair it was, and without realizing it, you've turned 1 minute of anger into hours, days, even weeks of resentment. So here's something you can try. Next time you feel that wave of heat rising, don't do anything. Just notice it. Count to 90 and breathe. If you don't hold on to it, it'll fade on its own. Moving also helps, a lot. Anger is physical. You feel it in your muscles, your rapid breathing, that tightness in your chest. If you stay still, it builds up and explodes at the worst moment. It's like a pressure cooker that needs to let off steam. Have you ever tried clenching your fists tightly and then slowly releasing them? It doesn't seem like much, but doing something physical takes the power away from the impulse. And here's another trick. Ask yourself, will this really matter in a week? In the moment, everything feels massive, final, unbearable. But with a little distance, you often realize it wasn't worth it at all. Next time something pushes your buttons, picture yourself a week from now, looking back. If you don't think it'll matter, then let it go now. Think about it. If anger solved problems, all the people who yell and slam tables would be the happiest people in the world. But since that's clearly not the case, the smartest choice will always be to channel that energy into something that actually matters. So the next time your mind wants to hit the gas without brakes, remember, you are the one in control. 3. Calm is not for the weak, it's for winners. Picture a battlefield. The ground shakes with every step, the air is thick with tension, screams echo in every direction, and the clash of swords sounds like the world is breaking in two. Everything seems out of control. In the middle of the chaos, soldiers are running. Some attacking without thinking, others shouting orders no one hears. It's total disorder. And then through the noise, he appears. A warrior who doesn't rush, who doesn't raise his voice, who neither runs nor retreats. He walks with purpose. His breathing is steady, his gaze calm. He doesn't get swept up in the panic around him. He observes, he calculates, and when he acts, he does it with precision, not out of impulse. That's the one who commands real respect, the one who doesn't get caught up in the frenzy, but instead owns the moment. Because calm isn't cowardice. It doesn't hold him back. It guides him. It gives him power. Now think about the world we live in. These days it seems like the louder you are, the more you interrupt, the more aggressively you respond, the more right you appear. As if losing your cool was some kind of power move. But what if it's the opposite? What if real strength lies in staying calm, in not letting yourself be dragged down, in not giving the performance everyone's expecting, in standing firm while everything around you shakes? Marcus Aurelius understood this better than anyone. He wrote, "The best answer to anger is silence." And he didn't say that out of weakness. He said it because he knew that when you react with rage, you hand over control. Staying silent doesn't mean you feel nothing. It means you're choosing not to feed the fire. Real strength is in restraint, in observing calmly, and only acting when it truly matters. And Simon Sinek says something similar today. True leaders aren't the ones who shout or try to dominate with force. They're the ones who stay composed in the middle of chaos. The person who, when everyone else is panicking, keeps a clear head and knows what to do. Whether it's in a company or in your own home, the one who stays calm ends up leading the rest. Why? Because they inspire confidence. Their calm is contagious. And that, my friend, isn't something you're born with. It's something you train, you practice, and it changes everything. Now picture this situation. You're negotiating with your landlord to fix the damp spots on the ceiling, and you see him starting to get defensive. Your first instinct might be to raise your voice, cut him off, show your anger. But that's where the difference shows. Because if you stay calm, speak firmly without losing your temper, you don't just keep your dignity, you gain authority. You don't come off as weak. You come off as someone who knows exactly what they want and how to get it. So how do you train that kind of calm, the kind that really matters when things get messy? First, take strategic pauses. When a situation heats up, don't rush to respond. Give yourself a few seconds. Sometimes a short silence carries more power than a long speech. It makes the other person stop, rethink, and realize they're not in control of you. Second, use the rhythm of your voice. You don't need to yell to be heard. In fact, the louder you yell, the more you lose credibility. But someone who speaks slowly, clearly, and without hesitation, that person has everyone's attention. Calm has its own kind of volume. And third, practice the Stoic gaze, the one that doesn't respond with anger or disdain or fear. It simply watches, steady and composed. Because when someone tries to provoke you and you meet them with that calm stare, completely unfazed, They're disarmed. They expected an outburst. What they get is your peace. Remember, that warrior who moves silently through chaos isn't weak. He's the most dangerous one of all. Calm is a strategy. It's a sign of power. It's what separates those who just react from those who lead. And if you master that calm, if you learn to hold on to it even when everything shakes, then you're already winning, no matter the situation. 4. Life isn't fair, so what? Yeah, I know. It doesn't sound nice. But let's be honest from the start. Life isn't fair. Period. It doesn't matter how hard you work, how kind you are, or how much you sacrifice. Sometimes someone doing half of what you do gets all the credit. And while you're giving it your all, someone else gets ahead by cheating, by luck, or through connections. Is it unfair? Absolutely. Can you change it? I'm afraid not. So what do we do with that? Because I promise you this, staying stuck in anger, in complaints, or frustration is only going to make your mind more chaotic. And as you've seen by now, if there's one thing you do need to train, it's your ability to stay calm when everything around you seems unfair. Not long ago, I heard the story of a woman named Marta. She had been working as an admin assistant at a company for over 10 years. Responsible, punctual, always on top of everything. She applied for an internal promotion. She had all the experience in the world, but they gave it to someone who had only been there for 6 months and just happened to be related to the boss. Marta felt invisible, and yes, it hurt. A lot. But what could she do? Ask life to be fair? Get angry with her boss, make a scene, lock herself away at home and sulk? Of course not. Marta understood something Epictetus made clear centuries ago. Don't ask for things to happen as you wish. Wish for them to happen as they do, and you'll find peace. That phrase wasn't just a quote, it became her compass. Because asking life to be fair is like getting mad at the rain for making you wet. You can complain all you want, but you're still getting soaked. Or you can open your umbrella, accept what is, and keep walking. Marta didn't stay stuck in what she couldn't change. She chose to act from a place of calm, and that's when her path started to shift. Today, she works at a company where her work is valued, where she's even training new employees. The injustice she went through didn't magically disappear, but she didn't let it steal her peace of mind. Now put yourself in her shoes. Or better yet, think of a moment when something similar happened to you. Maybe it was a scholarship you worked your heart out for, a project you poured yourself into, a conversation where you were honest, only to end up losing. Your mind wants to explode. It tells you it's not fair, that you should scream, that you deserve better. But if you let yourself get dragged into that storm, you lose clarity, you lose energy, and you lose control. So here's my challenge to you. Try the acceptance challenge. Just for one day, try not to complain about anything. Not the traffic, not your boss, not the weather. Just observe, accept, and focus on what you can control. It might sound silly, but trust me, your mind will notice. It'll stop chasing things that aren't up to you and start calming down. And if acceptance feels too hard, believe in something that helps you let go of control. Call it whatever you want, universe, destiny, life itself. Or if you want something more fun, picture having a Stoic GPS guiding you. Turn right, your boss was just unfair. Keep going straight, don't stop. Trust, it all makes sense. Sometimes we just need to believe there's a plan behind the chaos to keep our peace intact. My friend, if there's one thing that will help you train your mind, it's learning to stop resisting what you can't change. Life doesn't always treat you the way you deserve, but you can always choose how to respond. Now tell me in the comments, what's one situation you went through that felt completely unfair? And how did you handle it? We're all here to read your story, support you, and grow together. Because this community is also a space to share and to rise. 5. Losing control is your choice. You've probably been there. You're calmly waiting in line at the supermarket and suddenly, someone cuts in front of you like it's nothing. They look at you, smile like everything's fine, and move right ahead. What do? Yell at them? Boil with rage? Or do you take a breath, stay calm, and decide that this isn't going to ruin your day? A study from Yale University found that when a person believes they have control over their emotions, they automatically react more calmly under stress. In other words, it's not magic. It's not that some people are born with superpowers to stay cool. It's that they choose to think differently. It's a decision. And yes, you can choose it too. Because no one, absolutely no one, has the power to take away your peace, unless you hand it over. Epictetus put it plainly. Remember, it's not enough to be insulted or harmed. You must believe you've been harmed. Meaning it's not the comment, the look, or the gesture that hurts you. It's what you do with it in your mind. See? It all starts there, in how you decide to interpret what's happening. And that's where your mind can either betray you or become your strongest ally. Because if you're not trained, your mind reacts for you. The amygdala, our primitive danger detector, kicks in and boom, you're snapping back, throwing sarcasm, or shutting down completely. But if you take the reins, you can pause that impulse before it wrecks your day. Here's a technique that saved me more than once. I call it emotional airplane mode. Just like when you switch your phone to airplane mode and everything disconnects, you can do the same with your mind. Picture this. Instead of reacting instantly, you hit an invisible button and everything goes quiet for a moment. That pause gives you just enough space to decide, does this even deserve a response, or should I just move on? Trust me, I've tried it. At family meals, there's always someone who has to comment on how I look. Have you lost weight? You look tired. You should eat more. It used to get to me. Made me uncomfortable. I'd spend the whole day replaying those words. But now, when I start feeling that reaction building up inside, I hit emotional airplane mode. I breathe. I stay quiet. And I don't let that comment decide how I feel. And the best part? It works. The person on the other side is waiting for your reaction, but you decide not to give it. Here's something else that really helps. Ask yourself a simple but powerful question. Do I really want to give this person control over my mood? Just asking that kicks in a more rational, conscious part of your brain, and that's when calm starts to win. Think about it. If we lost our cool every time someone annoyed us, we'd be living with the blood pressure of a volcano. And you're not here to explode, you're here to grow. So next time someone tries to push your buttons, remember this: losing your temper isn't inevitable, it's a choice. 6. Connect with your body and calm your mind. You're in the kitchen, your head spinning with 1,000 things. The rice is boiling, your phone won't stop buzzing. The kids are screaming, and in the background, email notifications keep coming in. Your breathing speeds up. Puff, puff, puff. Your chest tightens, your hands start to sweat, and you feel like you're about to explode. The worst part? Nothing truly serious has even happened. But inside, it feels like a storm is about to hit. And there you are, stuck. Your mind is off on its own, jumping from one thought to the next like it's trapped on a roller coaster. You don't even know why you're so anxious. And you definitely don't know how to stop it. But what if you knew how to control your mind in that exact moment? What if you had a reset button that gave you back control just when everything feels like too much? Here's the secret: move. It's not random. It's not something I just made up. A study published in The Lancet Psychiatry showed that regular physical activity reduces the likelihood of experiencing severe stress by 43%. 43. That's huge, right? It's basically like having an invisible shield against anxiety. And it makes sense. When you're stuck in your mind, what you need isn't more thinking. It's to come back to your body. Feel your feet on the ground, breathe deeply, move your muscles, step out of the mental whirlwind through something as simple as walking. Seneca knew this centuries ago. He recommended going for walks to clear the mind and think more calmly. And he said a line that sums it up perfectly. No wind is favorable to the one who doesn't know where they're going. What does that mean? That when you're caught in a mental storm, you can't expect the wind to take you anywhere good if you're not even holding the wheel. But when you move, even just one step, you're already changing the direction of the wind. So, my friend, if one day your mind starts dragging you through stress and tension, don't just sit there chewing on your thoughts. Get up and move. Even if it's just for a few minutes. You can go for a mindful walk. No phone, no music, just you, your steps, and the world around you. Pay attention to the trees, the sky, the sounds. It's like slowly finding your way back to yourself. Another option? Shake it off. Yes, really. It's called shaking, and it's all about moving your arms, legs, neck, freely, like you're shaking the stress off your body. It might feel silly at first, but trust me, when you're done, it's like taking off a heavy coat made of cement. And if you're short on time, stretch like a cat. You've seen them when they wake up, right? They stretch out long, yawn, and move every part of their body. Do the same. Stretch your arms, your neck, your back. In just 2 minutes, you can feel more relief than even 10 positive thoughts could give you. Because look, your mind might be in crisis, screaming that everything's falling apart. But if you move your body, at least the rest of you won't panic. And on tough days, that's a win. Remember this, when your mind is in chaos, stop thinking and start moving. You'll feel the difference. Because in the end, only calm will take you where you truly want to go. And that calm doesn't always start in your head. A lot of times it starts in your feet. 7. Calm is always an option. Has it ever happened to you? Everything seems fine and suddenly your mind starts acting suspicious, like something's off. You say, I feel calm today, and then a sneaky thought shows up. I probably forgot something. This is too strange. Something bad's about to happen. And just like that, in seconds you go from peace to a wave of irrational anxiety. Like your mind, instead of enjoying the calm, is afraid of it. A lot of people think staying calm depends on everything going well. If traffic flows, if the boss is in a good mood, if no one disagrees with me, then yes, I allow myself to be at peace. But what if calm wasn't something you're given when the world behaves? What if it's a decision you can make, even when everything around you is falling apart? Seneca understood this so deeply, it's like he lived with an invisible shield. He said, the more power something has over you, the weaker you are in front of it. And he didn't say it to sound wise, he had lived it. He advised emperors, witnessed betrayal, exile, death threats. And still, he kept choosing calm. Can you picture Seneca with an emotional switch built into his toga? Someone tried to provoke him, and with total composure he'd hit his inner serene mode button. No drama, no explosions, just control. Today, psychology has a name for that: emotional regulation. And no, it's not a trait you're born with. It's a skill you train. Those people who always seem calm, the ones who don't lose it even when things go south, they weren't born with a special chip. They've practiced. They've messed up plenty of times. But they've learned how to respond instead of react. And yes, we all know someone like that. That friend who never loses it, who in the middle of an argument calmly sips their coffee and responds like it's nothing. Sometimes it even feels like they live on another frequency. And you think, how do they do it? Well, they've probably figured out that calm isn't a reward, it's a choice. And losing it helps nothing. One thing that's helped me is something I call the emotional plan B. You know what it is? It's deciding in advance how I want to react when a tense situation shows up. I know, it's not easy. There will always be something or someone trying to push your buttons. But if you've already got your emotional plan in place, you're much more likely to keep your cool. You can also create your own calm zone. It doesn't have to be a physical space with candles and Zen music, though if that's your thing, go for it. It can be something as simple as listening to a calming song, going for a walk, reading for a while, writing down what you feel. It's your mental rest space, a place you can return to when life gets too loud. And there's a phrase I repeat to myself whenever I feel like everything's about to overflow. I can be part of the problem or part of the solution. I say it to choose, right in that moment, whether I want to add tension or bring in peace. And the moment I choose peace, everything starts to shift. My friend, Your mind will try to pull you in every direction. It'll push you to react, to yell, to worry about things that haven't even happened. But only you decide whether or not you play that game. Only you choose if you let yourself get carried away, or if you plant your feet on the ground. And if calm is an option, if it's always there, waiting for you, then why not start choosing it more often? Because the more you choose it, the easier it gets to return to it. And the more you return, the freer you become. 8. You are not what happens to you, you are what you do. My friend, people can betray you, you can lose your job, you can lose everything you have. But what truly matters isn't what happens, it's what you do next. Because there's something no one can ever take from you, no matter how hard life hits. Your control over your mind. That's your strength, and that's where everything begins. Let me tell you a story that's sure to inspire you. It's about Brian Albacete Oliver. Maybe you know him as Brianator. From the moment he was born, it seemed like everything was against him. Spina bifida, degenerative muscle atrophy, and a wheelchair as his constant companion since childhood. With that alone, anyone would have thought his life was limited, defined by what he couldn't do. But Brian chose something different. He chose to fight with what he had. He chose to laugh at limits. He chose to dream big. One day, he turned on a camera, opened TikTok, and started creating. And no, he didn't do it looking for pity. He did it with humor, with creativity, with authenticity. Today, millions of people follow him. And not only that, he stepped into the world of cinema, earned the respect of an entire industry, and ended up nominated for a Goya Award as Best New Actor. Do you see it? He didn't choose his body. He didn't choose the obstacles, but he did choose how to respond. And that decision changed everything. Brian is not what happened to him. He's what he did with it. And that, my friend, is what you can do too. Because that's where the real power of a trained mind begins. The kind of mind that refuses to give up. Epictetus said it clearly. You cannot choose what happens to you, but you can choose how you respond. And that changes everything. Because if what happens to you is what defines you, then you're doomed by every mistake, every loss, every bad season. But if what defines you is what you do, then there's always a way forward, always a path to move on. Now think about this. If bad experiences truly defined who we are, we'd all be the villains in our own stories. With what we've lived through, what people have said or done to us, we'd be throwing things out the window like in a soap opera. But of course not, because what really defines you is what you choose to do after the chaos. Picture this. Your best friend, the one you trusted most, goes and shares a secret they swore to keep. One that leaves you exposed. One that even costs you your relationship. The world crashes around you. Rage, disappointment, unanswered questions. And right there, your mind starts firing off thoughts in every direction. But if you let them carry you away, you'll only make the pain worse. You'll yell, seek revenge, shut down, and stay stuck. But there's another way. And it starts with a pen and paper. First, write down 3 things you could do in that situation. Doesn't matter if they seem small or even silly. The simple act of looking for solutions pulls you out of victim mode and into action mode. Also, stop labeling what happens to you. Sometimes what looks like a disaster today is what pushes you to do something incredible tomorrow. That friend's betrayal, for example, might be the very push you needed to focus on yourself, to grow, to surround yourself with people who truly have your back. So every time something hurts, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? You can't let your mind trap you in what happened or in what didn't go as planned. So now tell me, if you're not defined by what happens to you but by what you do, what story are you going to write with what you've got right now? Because that story, your story, starts the moment you decide not to give up. And to do that, you need a strong mind, a steady mind, and a calm one. 9. Learn to breathe and you'll master your mind. Did you know that the way you breathe can be the difference between freaking out or staying calm? And no, it's not magic. It's pure science. The strange part is, we do it every single day, non-stop. but almost never pay attention to how we're doing it. And that, my friend, is where the trap lies. Patrick McKeown, one of the world's leading breathing experts and author of The Oxygen Advantage, explains something simple but powerful. Most of us breathe wrong, too fast, too shallow. And what does that do? It activates our sympathetic nervous system as if we were face to face with a lion, even if all that's in front of us is an email from the boss or an awkward conversation. It's like your body screams maximum alert for things that don't deserve it. And when that happens, the mind loses control. It speeds up, gets confused, blows everything out of proportion. But if you control your breathing, then you can start controlling your mind too. Marcus Aurelius made it clear in his Meditations, if you are troubled by something external, it is not the thing itself that disturbs you, but your judgment of it, and you can change that judgment at any time. And the fastest way to change that judgment, believe me, isn't through thinking, it's through breathing. Because when your breath is calm, your judgment calms too. The other day I was listening to a podcast by Jefferson Fisher, lawyer, communicator, and emotional management expert, and I was hooked by what he shared. He talked about the importance of stopping and breathing before responding in tense situations, especially in courtrooms. He explained how lawyers often ask sneaky questions, the kind that rattle you and push you to react instantly. For example, imagine they ask, "So, would you agree that you saw the car parking, but since you were in a hurry, you decided not to wait and hit it?" The usual response would be to jump in and say, "No, that's not true." But Jefferson suggests something different. Pause, breathe, look them in the eye, and then calmly reply, "No, that's not true," but with a calm, steady voice. No rush. See the difference? It's not just what you say, it's how you say it. The one who breathes and takes their time is the one who commands the room. And that's exactly what you can do. Next time you're in the middle of an argument, a tense meeting, or even when everything seems to be crashing down, do what Fisher says. Breathe before you respond. Give yourself 2 seconds. Those 2 seconds can change everything. And if you're at home feeling overwhelmed, your mind spinning in 1,000 directions, here's a technique used by many clinical psychologists to calm the mind. The 4-7-8 breath. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 7, exhale slowly for 8. Repeat the cycle 4 times. It's like putting out a fire from the inside. It relaxes your body and gives your mind back its control. You can't let your mind toss you around like a leaf in the wind every time something happens. Only calm will take you where you really want to go, and breathing is the doorway to that calm. So here's a challenge for you. You don't need anything. You don't even have to move. Just breathe consciously for 1 minute. Inhale slowly, exhale even slower. And then tell me in the comments, how do you feel? Did you notice the shift? Because that small action might just be the first step toward taking full control of your life. 10. Don't obsess over the past or the future. Being stuck between what already happened and what might happen is like trying to drive while staring only in the rearview mirror, or being so focused on the GPS that you forget to look at the road. You can't move forward like that. You'll either crash into what's right in front of you or get completely lost. And the worst part? You don't even enjoy the ride. You're just tense, stuck in your head, trying to control the uncontrollable. Marcus Aurelius didn't sugarcoat it. Man lives only in the present. The rest is either gone or hasn't happened yet. And this was someone with an entire empire on his shoulders. Now imagine for a second if Marcus Aurelius had gotten stuck on every decision he made. What if I shouldn't have sent those troops? What if that law wasn't the best call? He'd still be sitting on his imperial couch, paralyzed by doubt, while Rome crumbled around him. Most people live exactly like that, in the mental loop of what if. What if I'd chosen another career? What if it happens again? What if I lose everything? But my friend, what's the point of worrying about what you can't change, or what hasn't even happened yet? The mind is incredibly skilled at leading us down roads that go nowhere. And if you don't train it, it'll drag you around in circles all day long. That's where anxiety and sadness show up. Anxiety about what might go wrong tomorrow. sadness about what didn't go right yesterday, and while your mind is busy jumping back and forth, you're missing the only thing you can actually control: what's happening right now. Let me share something that might sound familiar. You're overwhelmed. Your mom insists on organizing your child's birthday her way, like you don't have a say. You're frustrated, holding back all day. Then, on impulse, you grab your phone to vent. You write a long message to your partner, spilling everything you're feeling. But you send it to your mom by mistake. 1 second, it's done. You see she's online, she's read it. Now your head won't stop. Why did I do that? What if she's furious? What if this ruins everything? You're stuck, but not because of the message. You're stuck because of your mind. And that's the moment when you need to return to the present. Because obsessing over what just happened won't unsend the message. The only thing that can actually help you is focusing on what you can do now. How do you do that? Start with the mental anchor technique. Carry a small object with you, like a bracelet, a coin, or a stone in your pocket. Every time your mind starts drifting to the past or the future, touch that object. Let it be your physical reminder that you're here, now, and this is the only moment that matters. Second, try the 1-minute reset. Just 1 minute. Focus only on what's in front of you. Notice what you're doing. Listen to what's around you. Feel your breath. It's like pressing reset. It helps break the loop and bring you back to center. And finally, ask yourself, what can I do to fix this? Not to justify yourself, not to spiral into regret, but to act. If there's something you can do it. If not, move on. Don't let your mind drag you by the hand through every fear and regret it can invent, because only calm will take you where you really want to go. And calm lives right here, in the present. Now get ready, because what's coming next is probably not what you're expecting. It's not about advanced mental techniques or deep philosophy. It's something much simpler but powerful. Something you can do anytime with whatever's right in front of you. And yes, it might be exactly what you need when your mind feels like a mess. 11. Use your hands and clear your head. My friend, let me ask you a simple question. When was the last time you actually did something with your hands? And no, I'm not talking about typing on your phone or tapping on a keyboard. Of course not. I mean something real. Touching, shaping, building. When was the last time you cooked without rushing? Drew something without worrying if it looked good? Fixed something around the house with your own 2 hands? These days, we live in our heads. Constantly. Thoughts, notifications, more thoughts. And honestly, how wouldn't you feel overwhelmed if you never step out of there? But there's a way out. And it's not in books or social media. It's in your hands. As Epictetus would say, don't explain your philosophy. Live it. And living it often means doing. Getting out of the loop of overthinking and into action. He himself believed that worry is defeated with movement. Because if you stay stuck in your thoughts, all you're doing is digging a deeper hole. But when you do something physical, something real, you're sending a message to your mind. I'm the one in charge here. And it's not just Stoicism saying this. Psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi, yes, the one with the impossible name, discovered something fascinating in his research on flow state. That moment when time disappears, the mind quiets down, and all that exists is what you're doing. And do you know what kinds of activities usually lead to that deep, peaceful state? Simple things like painting, cooking, shaping clay, handwriting. Activities that pull you into the present because they demand attention and movement. That's why, during World War II, soldiers did it. Yes, really. In the middle of chaos, constant fear, and daily tension, many of them spent their downtime doing manual work, carving wood, fixing objects, even sewing by hand. It might have looked like nothing, almost childish, but it had a deep effect. It wasn't just a distraction. It was a way to find stability when everything around them felt unstable. And the result? Those who engaged in these activities showed far fewer symptoms of PTSD, less anxiety, more clarity, more control. While others were stuck in memories or quietly falling apart, they found peace in something as simple as creating with their hands. I mean it. When your mind is a mess, try the paper therapy. You don't need to be an artist. Draw, color, doodle anything while your favorite music plays, and you'll see without even noticing how you start stepping out of the mental fog. Or try something even simpler. Modeling clay. Yes, just like when you were a kid. Shape it, squeeze it, roll it into balls, whatever. Your hands take over and your brain relaxes. Honestly, if the Stoics had had modeling clay, they might have been even wiser. Another idea. Get into the kitchen, but no phone, no recipe, just you, the ingredients, and your hands. Knead, chop, mix. Make it a ritual, a way to come back to yourself. Because when you're right there, elbow deep in flour or peeling carrots, you're not thinking about bills or drama. You're present. You're alive. And that brings calm. My friend, you can't let your mind drag you down dark roads without giving yourself the chance to stop. Because yes, only calm will take you where you want to go. And sometimes, that calm doesn't come from meditating or thinking harder. Sometimes it comes from moving your hands, doing something tangible, connecting to reality through your body. So here's your final challenge. Next time you feel like your mind is on the edge of collapse, use your hands. Create something. Draw, cook, fix, write by hand. Who knows? Maybe as you clear your mind, you'll discover a hidden talent. And if not, at the very least, you'll have reclaimed something so many people have forgotten. That to calm your mind, sometimes all you need is to touch life with your own hands. Training your mind to stay calm isn't something that happens overnight. It's a journey, a choice you make every time you decide not to react with anger, not to be dragged down by fear, not to get lost in inner chaos. Because every time you choose calm, you're choosing freedom. You're taking control of your life from the inside out. And that, my friend, is what makes the difference between living at the mercy of everything or living with real power. If you've made it this far, write it in the comments. I choose to live in calm because that choice changes everything. That way, I'll know who the true Stoic warriors are who made it to the end. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and give this video a like so you don't miss out on what's coming next. I also invite you to check out our playlist, which you'll see on the screen. It's packed with ideas, stories, and advice to help you navigate life with more wisdom and confidence. Click it, and let's keep moving forward together. Until next time, take care and keep embracing your inner Stoic.